discharged, so otherwise I'd have just been getting out and out, to be honest. So I snapped my wrist in 2003 on a rack tower. 2 years later, found out it was unrepairable, had it all fused, got discharged from there. It was like walking into a brick wall. It was just complete different. Life, from one day to the next was just dark and light. It was strange, it really was. One thing that did work in my favour was I went to the council, said nowhere to live. I did have somewhere to live. I said I didn't, and because I was military, I sort of moved up the list for a flat. So I got one pretty much straight away, which I was lucky with. But I haven't really had any other help now. No. But in all honesty, I've not asked for any. I said, I've got Dave, literally 2-minute walk, house to house, another phone call. So these are a lot of boys, regimental boys, that are in a 5-mile radius. And I'm talking, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
And I said, it's a phone call away. Well, I know that's there, but like you said, it's more me. Do I need that? Nah, I'll do it myself, I'll try. Until it gets to a point where, no, I can't do that.
Left the army in 2004, had a couple of jobs, I wasn't really settled. Had a couple of kids quite close together. It was, from going from the army to having a family in quick succession, like 5 kids. It sort of blew my mind a bit. Then I fell into performance management, sales, and just through the disciplines ended up being quite good at it, really. So there's a lot to do with mindset and what we do, and a lot of training that we do is also about mindset. So I thought, why not? If there's anyone out there to help out, then I'm happy to do so. I think if it's something to do with a trauma, a bad experience that someone's having, then that is, I think the general public and the people understand that, PTSD, but it's not always about conflict, and it's not always about something that's happened. Maybe that day, it might trigger in 15, 20 years time over certain things, but for me, it was that to go from one day, you're in camp, getting all your paperwork signed, to then you're then out, and then you've got no one to to fall back on. That's why I mean earlier on, I went from the army to then having a family, straight away. So didn't have that element of freedom, struggled to a certain degree, and I suppose it's also selfish, that the fact is I still sort of look after number one to a degree, make sure yourself's ready first and then help others, so that can have a knock-on effect with your family. So in a way, that's something else I've had to deal with. But yeah, it's safe anywhere we can help, shape or form, happy to do so.
Yeah. It's daft little things like, when I come out, I was on the recruiting team at the time, and I had to go to Colchester on the med board, and I sat there and they said, right, you're getting discharged, whatever the terms were they used. I said, well, what does that mean? Basically, when I left that office, that was me, done and dusted. Drive home, didn't have to put green stuff on again. So I got me flat, and I was absolutely clueless as how to go about paying me rent, water. I didn't have a clue, because everything is done for you in the army. So when I said I didn't need help, I'm on the phone with my mum. What do I do here? Do you know what I mean? It's daft little things that you're thinking now, but they're a big thing in the big bad world. Otherwise you get in a lot of trouble for not paying them.
For me, like the stress or the anxiety of doing certain things, it's like we'll go for a day out, let's be on the beach, and then your impatience then starts kicking in, because for me, you always need to be active. So then it'll be like, right, come on, let's go, because I need to go and do this, just to do something to clear your head, rather than just maybe having to walk off or something, or coming back to the situation. It's just constantly being on the move. So yeah, massive factor. Going for meals, I like to see the room, So it's like sitting in certain locations. So again, if we're out for a family meal or whatever, it's like I will get there first to know that I'm picking like a certain spot in there. Not because I've ever been in a conflict in a pub or restaurant environment, but it's just my own sort of peace of mind, because it's like looking for the threats.
People might laugh, but it's the cleanliness side of things. So obviously in the army you're instilled, everything's polished, this square at the front. But civvy life, it's not, you just give it a quick wipe and, you know, but I'm still like that. And she goes crackers with me. You're not in the army no more. But that's just the way I am. Just the way the army installed it in me. I still do it. And it causes so many arguments, it's unreal.
You know, with the power of social media now, it's becoming more apparent that these are people out there who need help and support in one way, shape or form. So it's, you know, people need help, so it's sad. If anyone can help, then they need to do so.
For me, I wouldn't say I've been in that many bad experiences, bad place-wise, mind-wise, but I just like to be there to help somebody that is. I mean, but the regiment, you say it's a family regiment, for me they're all brothers. So I'd like to be there for someone, even if it's just one person. There's that many different organisations out there to help, but I think the closeness within our regiment, I'd like to think that someone would ring one of us, what's the worst can happen? So they're going to get worse if they build it up.
Even if you're not confident in ringing, as sometimes when I've went through issues before, just drop a message, you know, just drop a message to someone, just say, look, you know, any chance of a chat one day, you know, meeting up not in a good place, or, you know, can you help us with this? You know, texts,
yeah, I'm
Facebook
not one for ringing
posts,
people. I hate
you
ringing
know,
people.
it's a lot easier
Text all the time.
nowadays, biggest communicator, so just drop someone a text.